Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video on the channel. Hope everybody is doing well. In today's video, we are going to be going over the best case scenario for both Republicans and Democrats. This is for the U.S. House, of course, all the congressional districts, all 435 seats. I'm taking in consideration that the Democrats should at least be somewhat favored, just because they're the party out of power, kind of like how they took back momentum in 2018 when Republicans were in control of everything with President Trump, kind of like how it is now, and also times like 2010 or 2014 when the Democrats were in control of everything, and they had Barack Obama as their president. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We'll start from the West Coast. This will first be the Democrat best case scenario. First, start off with the Democrats winning all of their safe seats. This becomes likely. And I still think these two districts are likely Democratic. However, best case scenario for the Democrats, these would be safe. Republicans would win their safe seats out here as well. Starting off at the West Coast, pretty much all of the Dakotas, Nebraska, most of Kansas stay safe. Move on to California. I know that it's been in the news a lot. These two districts are likely only because they might have their two Republican incumbents who've been drawn out run for re-election. However, assume that they don't, or the environment is big enough, they go by safe. A lot of these Democrat incumbents were drawn into likely Democrat districts. However, in this situation, they will be winning by safe margins. Even in the Orange County area of California as well, all safe Democrat. And that is about it. You do have Adam Gray here. He's in a more competitive area. However, I still don't think he'd win by a safe margin. I think he would narrowly win over 5 points. As you'd see, David Valadao, the Republican incumbent, lose by a lean margin. You would see Darrell Issa lose by a likely margin. And that is about it. Republicans win their 3 safe districts. Nevada, Democrats, 2 likely districts move up to safe Democrat, and their toss-up district moves up to likely Democratic. And in Alaska, Mary Peltola would not win re-election. She would flip the seat for the Democrats, assuming that she runs for the seat, obviously. Arizona, they would have some more pickups. They win their safe seats. And they pick up 2 seats by lead margins, assuming Democrats do well enough at the top of the ticket. Juan Ciscomani, his seat will flip. He would lose in this scenario. And you would also see David Schweikert's open seat flip as well. Republicans would win their safe seats. However, Eli Crane's margin will dip down further to only lean Republican. I'd actually see this district go likely Democratic, just because of the environment. New Mexico, Democrats all win by safe margins. In Texas, despite the new map not being favorable towards them, they still will do pretty well, all things considered. Of course, they do win their PAC areas. Henry Cuellar would win by safe. Vicente Gonzalez would win just by a lean margin. And that's about it. Rest of Texas is safe Republican. Regardless, this district will say likely. Everything else is safe for the GOP in the Lone Star State. Oklahoma stays safe Republican. Arkansas stays safe Republican. This will become likely. Assuming Missouri does not change their map, everything will be safe Republican except for the 1 Democrat PAC. This seat will become likely Republican, and Therese Davids will win by a safe margin there. Utah, they win their flipped PAC seat, and Democrats all win all their seats by a lot, overperform. Jeff Hurd would lose re-election. It's more of a competitive district down ballot. He's already in danger of losing regardless, but he would definitely lose in this scenario. Gabe Evans, with the Republican incumbent, would lose by just over 5, and the 2 other safe districts would go as likely Republican. You would have Nebraska's 5th go Democrat by a likely margin, as well as Mariannette Miller Meigs would be the same. Zach Dunn will lose by a lean margin. and Republicans would just ever so barely hold on to this district by about 1 point, and this would stay safe. Minnesota, Democrats win all of their safe districts, and Angie Craig's district will stay safe, and Republicans win all theirs. This one would become likely. That's about it for there. Staying in the Midwest, Illinois, I don't think they're going to redistrict, so pretty much everything stays the same. There's not really any competitive districts. Eric Sorensen won by over 10, and they get all of their districts. This isn't a favorable map for the GOP either. Wisconsin stays the same. Brian Style would only win by a lean margin, and Derek Van Orden would definitely lose in this scenario. And I could see this one become likely and get their safe districts. So far, this is what the map looks like for a Democrat environment. You have pretty much that. These are the only safe Republican districts. This would be only a lean district for the Republicans. Democrats would be safe on all of these. Kristen McDonald-Rivet would probably win by just under 10. Tom Barrett would definitely lose. Only by a lean margin, though. And I think John James's open seat would narrowly flip. As well as in Ohio, Marcy Kaptur would narrowly hold on. It is a Trump plus 10. However, assuming that the Democrats do good enough and overperform and have like a 2018-like year, then I could definitely see some surprise wins. They get their 2-pack districts. Greg Landsman wins by a likely margin, outperforming the Trump plus 2 margin. Republicans get these down to likely. They won't be safe. And then, obviously, these. Mike Turner probably still win by over 10. That's about it. Amelia Sykes would probably win by a safe margin. Indiana stays the same. We found out that they are not redistricting. Frank Mervan will probably win by over 10. Kentucky stays safe Republican and 1 safe Democratic district. Andy Barr's retiring, so it'll be likely. Tennessee, otherwise, stays the same. I will put Andy Ogle's district as likely. That's about it. I'm assuming Louisiana does not change. Those will be the same. I'm assuming that the Voting Rights Act will not change, so they'll still keep their minority black districts throughout the South. So Republicans hold on. Not a ton of competitiveness over here. Florida stays the same. This scenario would assume that Ron DeSantis would not redistrict. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's really hard to say if he will. If he doesn't, then this district will only be lean. Safe Democrat for all of these. Sorry, this would be Jared Moskowitz. He wouldn't by a likely margin. But this is about it for Florida. Again, not a ton of super competitive districts. South Carolina stays the same. That one would become likely. North Carolina, they did some tweaking to the maps to flip a seat. I would say there's 3 likely Republican districts. However, they would, at good Democrat environment, they would go down to lean. Virginia, you did see some Democrat reversion here that they've lost in recent years. Assuming that it keeps in check with what we saw this year, Democrats. I'm currently just sticking to the maps that have been enacted, not the ones that have been theorized about. They're talking about redrawing Virginia's maps. However, I'm assuming that they're not, just because we haven't. If they stick by these maps, then the districts will pretty much stay the same. Democrats win their safe areas. Republicans win their 3 safe districts. And then it gets kind of interesting. You'd see probably Eugene Vindman win by likely. Jen Higgins goes down by lean margin just because she's the incumbent. And you see Rob Whitman only win by likely to lean. He's a strong incumbent. It's really hard to say if they're going to draw him out or not. Maryland, everything stays the same. Andy Harris. If they draw him out, they'll probably make it a Harris +4 district, and then Harris. Funny coincidence. They have the same name. Harris will win a Harris district. Probably draw it into parts of Baltimore. I don't think Maryland is going to redistrict though, so I assume that Republicans hold on there. Delaware stays safe Democrat. New Jersey, everything stays safe, uncompetitive. And assume Josh Gottheimer wins by a safe margin again. Republicans win their safe Republican district. I think Jeff Van Drew would probably win. Probably win by a likely. I assume, and Tom Kaine would probably just narrowly hold on by the skin of his teeth. Be very close. He just seems to be a strong enough incumbent to be able to hold on. Pennsylvania, very, very interesting. Republicans would keep their safe seats. No doubt about it. I keep trying to stress this enough. I can't stress it enough. Brian Fitzpatrick will not lose. He seems to be an electoral juggernaut. Josh Shapiro won this district by double digits. Brian Fitzpatrick won by double digits at the same time. He's not losing. It's not getting closer. He just seems to be, he can be in office his whole life if he wants. However, Democrats would have success in the rest of the Keystone State. 17th would go to safe. Obviously, they went all their safe districts. That's about it. Scott Perry, he would probably lose. And Ryan McKenzie would probably lose between 3 to 6 points. However, just because of that, I think it'll be lean. Rob Bresnahan, he does have some skeletons in his closet. He's not the strongest incumbent. In this scenario, he'd probably lose, I would have to say. Narrowly, though, it is a pretty red district. It's became pretty red, but that's what I would see. So you got some flips for Democrats out of PA. You got New York. Republicans still win their safe districts, but not by a lot. That's about it. First, become lean. And you would see these become, assuming that Kathy Hochul doesn't crap the bed, these Democrat incumbents should hold on with no problem at all. These two would be likely Democrat, assuming that reversion happens. This would become, maybe leans a lot, say safe. I'd say this one, Josh Riley would win by likely. But that's probably what's going to happen. Mike Lawler probably barely holds on, and I mean barely. He, again, just seems kind of like Tom Kaine, seems to be an overperformer, seems to be a strong incumbent. I just can't see them losing. It'd still be extremely close. That's probably what happens. New England stays safe Democratic across the board. Donna Hayes wins by over 10. New Hampshire becomes safe Democratic. And Paula Page only flips this by a lean margin, probably by 1 point. But yeah, this is the best case scenario for the Democrats right here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I do encourage you to stick around, because at some point I will be doing the best case scenario for the Republicans to hold the U.S. House. Hopefully, I will have that video coming out probably later this week, so stick around for that. Be sure to watch that as well. But again, I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think. Do you think some of these are too out of touch, or do you think they're very possible? Tell me what you guys think about the best case Democratic scenario. Let me know down in the comments. Please like and subscribe. It helps out the channel. And I hope to see you in the next video.